Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I'm a pharmacist. I own 52 units of real estate and I help coach people to buy their first multifamily deal. So today I want to talk about unemployment and how unemployment affects multifamily real estate, and it may apply to single family real estate as well. So right now, as you can see in the news, a lot of layoffs are happening. A lot of government workers are losing their jobs. There's a lot of cuts being made. And during times of recession, that's when layoffs happen. Companies try to become more lean. They lay off employees to trim the fluff and to basically reduce their cost. So, and for me, my hospital that I'm working at might go through the similar thing. So even, healthcare workers who are historically safe from layoffs and government jobs are being affected as well. So anyways, when layoffs happen, typically during a recession, which I think it's coming, and I have a video talking about strategies I'm going to do to prepare for the recession, and quick summary would be basically reduce your expense, increase your savings rate, try to make additional income streams, and really try to bump up your emergency reserve, and don't do anything speculative in terms of investing. So that's what I'm kind of doing right now. But anyways, when unemployment goes up, layoffs go up, and what happens to multifamily real estate? So from my experience, if you are living in an A-class apartment complex, for example, and I'll just use Los Angeles as an example, maybe it's $4,000 to $4,500 a month. And if you get laid off from your job, you cannot afford that $4,000 a month. So you're going to downgrade from an A-class apartment, which is brand new, to maybe with multiple amenities like a dog park, a pool, a gym. You're going to downgrade to a B-class apartment. So this will be maybe 5 to 20 years old, still new, but maybe it's a little cheaper. Maybe it's $3,500 a month or $3,000 a month, so you can save some money. And people in the B class that could afford B class apartments will downgrade to the C class apartments. So the C class apartments are they're 20 years old plus, may not be as new, but they are more affordable. So for example, in Los Angeles, you might be going down from $3,500 to maybe $2,500 a month for that same apartment. So as you can see, for the sake of example, you start off in A class at $4,000 a month for an apartment, then B class might be $3,000, and then C class might be $2,500. So as unemployment goes up, as recession times, bad times happen during recession, I think people start to kind of reduce their base expense, which is rent. So A class tenants will go down to B class will go down to C class, and C class, either A, you're going to a mobile home, or you're going to go into like Section 8 housing, depending on your income situation. So knowing all that, this is why I buy C-class apartment complexes. So my 26 unit is C-class, my 20 unit is C-class, and my C-class apartments, they appeal to workforce housing. Like in Oklahoma, my 26 unit average rent's about $700, and my 20 unit average rent's about $500. So it's very affordable. Even if you work at, let's say, Walmart or Target, it's very affordable to still live there. If you're making, $15, $20 an hour, you can still afford it. So, and on top of that, my C-class apartments are a little bit about 10 to 15% below market rents. So for my 26 unit, I'm charging around $700 to $750, but market is going to be $800 to $850. So I'm a little bit below market. Same with my 20 unit. Market's around $600. I'm at like $550 to $500. So once again, I'm below market. So this is what's nice about C-class apartments, is that during bad times, this is when people start to downsize their apartment, go to a cheaper area that's cheaper expense, and rent's your base expense as somebody who, especially if you're getting laid off. So, and your income's going down. So that's why I like C-class, but the downside of C-class apartments is it's an older apartment. Yes, the inside could be renovated nice, but the outside, the infrastructure is older. So you might have more plumbing issues. You might have more roofing issues. You might have more HVAC issues. You might have more electrical panel issues. So that just comes with the territory. So typically when I buy value add real estate, you're talking about a C-class apartment complex that you bought from somebody that owned it for a long time, hasn't raised rents in 5, 10, 15 years. So you're going to go in, you're going to renovate the interior, you're going to renovate the exterior, new paint, new roof, new trim, make it look fresh, but the infrastructure is still old, like built in the 1960s. So the plumbing might be old, the HVAC might be old. So there's just a lot of more capex associated with that. But the positive is during hard times, the recession times, people will downgrade to C-class apartments because they're still in good locations, they're still safe, they're still nicely renovated on the inside. But if you can reduce your rents, that's a huge savings. So in Oklahoma, I think an A-class apartment might be about 1,200 to 1,500. Like you're talking brand new, built within the past 5 years, brand new everything, stainless steel appliances, dog park, pool, gym, car wash station, all the bells and whistles. But you downgrade to my apartment, it's about 750, so it's about 50% cheaper. There's no dog park, there's no pool. You don't have in-unit laundry. You have to go to a laundry room. But the inside's renovated nicely. I have LVP flooring, I have brand new kitchen cabinets, I have stainless steel appliances, I have fresh coat paint, I have fixtures. So the inside looks nice, but the outside, no amenities and no in-unit, washer and dryer. So is it worth it to cut your rent in half from 1,500 to 750, lose your amenities, you lose your in-unit washer? And the answer might be yes. So that's the niche that I kind of serve with my apartments. So I don't think my C-class apartments will be affected by the recession. They're actually more recession resistant, but it's the more the A-class and the B-class that are more affected. I would say specifically the A-class, because people say, well, yes, I can give up my amenities and downgrade. So that's how I think it affects. So to kind of summarize, once again, A-class will be affected the most during the recession, but I guess one can argue the tenants who live in A-class may make more money, so they can afford to do it. But A-class will be affected, then B-class, then C-class will be the last to be affected because people are downgrading to C-class apartments. With single-family homes, same thing. Maybe you're living in a townhome. Maybe you're renting a single-family home. You can't afford that anymore, and you're downsizing to an apartment, right? Whether that's a B-class, A-class, or C-class. So that's how I think it is. And what's nice, too, is when people get laid off, you want to go to areas where there's a lot of job diversification, which is why I like for example, the Bay Area. It's very heavy in tech. So when tech layoffs happen, people might move out of the Bay Area because they don't need to live there anymore because it's expensive. But there's other job opportunities in the Bay Area as well. Like there's healthcare, there's government jobs. So you want to invest in an area that's very diverse in terms of jobs. So Oklahoma is diverse in jobs. The Bay Area is diverse in jobs. You don't want to be in a town where it's just like the only source of jobs is, let's just say, an Air Force base. And when the Air Force base is there, times are great. You always have renters that pay top of market. But if that Air Force base were to leave, now you're dependent. All your tenants just left. There's no other jobs there. And now there's occupancy is decreasing. Rents are going down. The value goes down significantly. So that's why I always try to buy real estate in markets of multiple jobs. Yes, the Bay Area is heavily tech, but there's still other jobs there. Yes, in LA, it's a little more diverse. So you have more diverse jobs, more diverse tenant pools. And I don't buy in markets where it's dependent on one major employer. Like you said, if you were to buy, like in Lawton, there's an Air Force base there. The Air Force base goes away, all the apartment values will go down. So that's the downside. So that's why you never want to buy in an area where it's dependent on one job, right? And I guess historically government jobs are safe, but now there's a lot of layoffs happening in government jobs. So it's not as safe as we once thought, but relatively speaking, probably still safer than most jobs. So that's just kind of my thought. And let's just times the numbers. So let's just say I were in an A-class apartment. I owned one, and now tenants are leaving because rents are too high. So what happens is either A, you're going to have to lower your rents, but if you lower your rent, your NOI goes down, your expenses stay the same, your expenses don't lower, your expenses stay the same, your NOI goes down, and now the value of your A-class apartment went down in value. Versus in C class, if you have more demand, let's say everyone moved from A class to C class apartments, you can maybe charge, maybe instead of 700, maybe you're charging 800, a little bit more than you used to. Your NOI goes, your income goes up, your expense stays the same, your NOI goes up, your value goes up. So in times of high unemployment, theoretically, A class apartments are going down in value because NOI is going down, and C class are going up in value because your NOI is going up and your rents are increasing. So, like I said, A class apartments can lower their rents to still retain their tenants, but for C class, I could stay as is and maybe slightly raise if there's that much demand. Like if I have like 10, 20 people wanting to rent like 2 units, like I could raise the rents a little bit more. So you really have to see, and the best source is like to talk to your property manager to see like, okay, like now that unemployment's going up, times are bad, are we seeing more demand for my units? And if so, maybe you can slightly bump up the rents a little bit or stay as is and be 100% occupied, which is amazing. So those are kind of my thoughts on how unemployment will affect the real estate markets, will affect rents, will affect multifamily. Hopefully you found some value. Let me know if you have any questions. If you want one-on-one coaching, you want mentorship, check out my link tree down below. You can send me an email as well. My email is in the link tree as well if you want a discount code, but looking to bring on more people to coach and mentor and looking to buy some apartments myself. When times are bad, especially during recession, especially during unemployment, that's when good deals come on the market because you have more distressed sellers, more motivated sellers, and that's when if you buy right, you can find an amazing deal at 50% off, right? You might find deals at 50% off. So that's what I'm looking to do, and that's what I hope you're going to do. Anyways, please like, comment, subscribe. Hope to see you next one. Thank you so much.